Good morning and sliding in afternoon. I'm not sure what you got there initially because things are flashing across my computer. So, Judy Allan here, also known as Nana, with Teach Me Nana, and also with Adventure Stamping. And yes, I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So, today I just titled it, right? Sharing is Caring. Because everything we do, everything we create, we do it to share with others, right? So, my granddaughter was on my mind today, Zoe. She'll be here this weekend. But, she brought me up to mind because, you know what? We used to always say, and we still say this to the grandkids, right, and kiddos, that sharing is caring. And at a point in her life when she was about 5 or 6 years old, she would go, well, I'm just not caring. So, anyway, we remind her of that every once in a while, but she does share. And so I'm going to share with you today. We're going to make a post-it note holder, but I'm going to share with you also what we already have made in case you missed it and you're going to go look at the replays on YouTube because that's what it's about. The holiday season is fast approaching. Goodness knows the stores have everything in the world with Christmas out right now, and they're still putting out more Christmas stuff, right? So with that, let's go down the hands. I'm also going to share with you something else I got out here as well too, because this Nana has been busy cleaning, getting ready for someone to have surgery next week. So I'm available for that as well as getting ready for grandkids for Thanksgiving holidays, right? So let's do this. So this is what we've already created. We did this, I don't even know if it was last week, the week before. But anyway, this was a stack and shuffle just to show you the different looks and all. I had done this also in Adventure Stamping with the Reindeer Fun. And I did the this or that, and someone liked the one better, and I said, what's because the deer is lighter. I totally forgot to change the colors of the deer, right? So there's just different things that make them look a little different. The other thing that you may have missed was we actually decorated these crates from the items from the kit. Now the only thing that's missing is putting Merry Christmas on here. And then we did the one with the cardinal. So the cardinal one is the one I actually did live. We created it from the envelope. I just added some ribbon, and actually we added the wood crate, right? Just to give you an idea. So if you want to see it, all you got to do is go back to YouTube, and we have it out there where we sat there and decorated the crates. So it is very easy to come in here. I already had stamped these. And actually I was thinking of just putting Merry Christmas like right up here, right? Because it's not a card, right? So I don't have to worry about the envelope. Because it is what it is, I can just put that right there. And we can move it over, scooch it over a little bit more if we wanted to, or even up like this here. You can do whatever you want, right? And the same thing goes for this one here. If you want to finish this off and put Merry Christmas on it, I can just come in here. This one I'd have to, it's a little bit tighter, so it's not as easy, right? Because I already glued this down. So they were both created a little bit differently, or else I could actually put that up and have something put it up a little bit higher. But you have options, right? And I put a little bit of red here. This is actually in the kit as well too. And it's okay if it extends over as well. Again, because of the fact, in fact, I think that's where this one's going to land. Because the fact is, it's a display, right? It's something that you put things in. I have one right here that's not decorated like these. And see, I got all my adhesive in here. So you can do different things with them. I know the special peeps in my life are going to claim these when they see them. And I assure you, they always fill little boxes up with something. Always. They never have enough little boxes. In fact, I'm putting all my little boxes aside here. All right, the thing I wanted to share with you today, and I honestly don't know where I got this from, but what I do love about it, right, is I want to be able to share with my granddaughters. So I actually got, I don't know where I got it from, but, grandchildren are such a joy, right? And each month they've got something else. So I plan on taking mine. I gave it to one granddaughter for sure. The other one's younger. I'm not sure if she'd even care about something like this. But I may give her the choice of having it as well too. But I'm actually going to make a scrapbook page and just put this on the left side of the page every month and then do photos on the right side. I just want to share that with you because I just think that's so cool. I'm just going to flip through these real quick. We've done the same thing with our grandsons, but I just haven't ever seen them come out with something like this for the grandsons. In fact, I never saw anything with the granddaughters either. So until now. But I like the fact to inspire and encourage, right? So whether we do it with cards, whether we do it something like this, we make it in scrapbooking, you know, we can sit there and do all kinds of things to share and inspire one another. And that's what I love doing. All right, so today we're going to do a post-it note easel. I got these, and it's because I'm going to give gifts, right? So you saw I've got the boxes I've created, and we've created cards. And so I'm creating this because when I get through, when somebody gets this as a gift, no matter who gets it, they're going to have one of these in here, right? As well as they're going to have most likely a couple of cards, or at least a card to them. And there's so much cardinal stuff out there right now, it's easy to go find stuff. All right, so let's start from basics here. This is a 4x4 piece of sort of like cardboard. I don't know, it's heavy. It might be like a party board. But anyway, it comes in our paper pumpkin kits as support and other things that Stampin' Up! Sends us stuff in. You might find anything else you do too. And what I did is I took my paper trimmer and I just trimmed it, right? And it's thick. So all I did is flipped it over and did it again. 4 inches on every side, and that was easy to do. I then took this punch here, and this is actually on clearance right now. One of them is anyway. I saw it. I don't know if it's sold out or not. And I just punched the corners with this. And again, actually, this went through the corners just fine. If not, I would have done just like I do with my scoring tool, and I would have cutting tool. I would have done the same thing with it too if I needed to. So I just want to show you what I did to get here. All right, so when I do Post-it notes, because I've done Post-it notes all kind of different ways, and if you looked at Vintage Stampin', you'd see some stuff there as well. This is actually 3 inches by 3 inches, so at least it's nice that they make it a square, right? So usually when we make stuff, we make it at least 1/4 of an inch more. That just gives us nice look and everything and finish. So we're going to do that. So first we're going to take this down to a, I said it's 3 by 3. I just want to show you how we do it, because sometimes people say, well, it looks hard. It's not. It's we just measure it out. So it's 3 by 3, and we're going to add 1/4 of an inch. So that's going to be 3 1/4 inches. So I'm going to come over to 3 1/4 inches, and then I'm just going to take this. This is leftover from a week or so ago, so I'm just using some leftover stuff. And then, now I can't just go cut 3 1/4 here, because now I have to be sure. We already know this is going to be 3 1/4, right? Because we're adding 1/4 inch. And we're going to do the same thing for the back. So it's 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And I'm looking to see if I can write this down with you. I've got paper everywhere, and I'm looking to see if I can write that down for you. So the thing is, you want to start with the base, right? What is the base of your Post-it? Now this is not name brand, which it doesn't matter, right? Just what is the base of the Post-it? This one in this particular case is a 3 by 3 inch, all right? And then we're going to add 1/4 inch on the width. Now when we go to cover this, again, we're still going to want the 3 1/2 inches. So length, let's go with length, is going to be 3 1/4 plus 3 1/4 plus, we're going to add extra 1/4 inch. All right? And the reason for that is we got to come over this piece right here. Now this might be a little bit skinnier than that, but you can see this is 1/4 of an inch right here. All these little marks are increments of 1/4 of an inch. So if I do this on the scoring line, that's going to give me a little extra. All right, the world won't end over that. If that bothered you a little bit, then you could size it down a little bit more. But I'm going to do it like that. Okay, so if you add 3 1/4, 3 1/4, that's 6 1/2, right? 6 1/2 inches plus another 1/4, it's going to equal 6 3/4 inch. All right? 6 3/4 inch. So that's what we're going to go for here. Now, my paper trimmer goes to 6 inches just as a normal setup, and we're just going to take this down to 6 3/4 right there. All right, now we're going to score it because we already know we're going to do 3 1/4 for sure, right? So let's just go ahead and we're going to use the scoring tool, and we're going to score 3/4 of an inch. All right, so it gives you an idea what it's going to look like. because I'm not done, but let me go ahead and take you right here. And when you go and add this right here, you can see it looks like I still didn't do enough, right? So it's actually going to cover this right here, but it looks like I didn't do 3 1/4. Let's double check that. 3 1/4. I did not. I did 3 inches. That's okay. I'm going to do 3 1/4 because you know what? This will be the back side. So I'm not going to sweat it, right? The thing is, if you make a mistake, don't sweat it. All right? It's good to check, as my daughter did with cutting lumber and all and tech theater, and my granddaughter both, they go say, check twice, right? Well, that's one of the reasons why we're double checking, because we really want this to be like right above right here, okay? So that you just got a little bit on each side. It's going to cover it and protect your little post-it. All right? So now we want our 1/4 inch up here. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to take it another 1/4 inch. So we had 3 1/4. We'll do it right this time. Yes. And 3 1/2. So another 1/4 inch is at 3 1/2. All right. We're just showing you the basics because you can do this with any Post-it note. Because I have to tell you, I getting ready for our holiday bingo for customers and my team. I made gifts for them, right? So when you get Post-it notes, they're not all created the same, right? All right, let me get the right one. Okay, so you can see here's the one I actually did before. We're going to cover that, right, when we get through. And then you can see I've allowed a little bit there for your Post-it note. And then when they open it, it'll be just like this right here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take, yes, they might be able to see it there, but I assure you, if it's one of my special peeps in my life, or even if it's a friend, right, nobody's going to go like, oh, you messed that up there. Not. They're going to look at how pretty it is, so don't let that bother you, okay? And so I'm just going to glue this down, and I'm going to butt it up to this first, covering the one I did erroneously. In there, okay? So we get it nice and trimmed just like that. All right, so we have choices now. Now we are going to make it into an easel card, and we're going to get there. But I wanted to first at least do my notepad, right? Because it's one of those things in life, if I'm rushed for time, and I pulled out several different, I wasn't sure which one. So if I'm rushed for time, right, the bottom line is you may not get the easel, right? You may just get the Post-it, right? I'm making holiday gifts. And I had choices. I was either choice with this here, the light green. I didn't really want the dark on top. But I thought this would be pretty cool too. And I've used this a lot, right? And I really like the white. I really like the white with this. So I am gonna do it. All right. So we did this at 3 1/4. So again, our envelope is gonna be like our DSP. So it is gonna be at 3 by 3 inches, right? It's going to allow this is cherry cobbler, is the paper this is here, and it's going to allow this to really pop the little berries here, right? So we're just going to get this on the back side, and I'm going to flip it because I need to, right? Let me get the edges off first, because I don't need the whole envelope, I just need the corner of this one. So I just cut out the smidgen, right? So you may wonder, am I creating a mess over here? Yes, I am. I just toss it aside. I got a little trash thing here that I can toss it into. If not, that means when I get through my life, I have to clean up, right? Clean up my mess I made. All right, so I'm just going to do like we've done before. I'm going to cut off. Yeah, you say I'm using up all my envelopes. I am, because you know what? I have other envelopes, and I can stamp on my other envelopes. I can do whatever I want, right? So it's all about, for me, it's about creating what I want to create. And that's just sort of how I'll leave it. All right, so I'm going to cut this at 3 inches. Yeah, next week or so, I'm going to have to show you what I do with all the leftover pieces and how I create with all the scraps and everything left over. Right? Because that only seems fair. Have you creating all these scraps, and what do you do with the leftover scraps? So I'm just going to put this right here. Now see, it's the light and the dark, how it really gives such a contrast. So we're going to put this on here. And then from here, it's just a matter of which birds. I think the cardinal is way too big. trying to see that cardinal offhand, so I can show it to you. However, you know, if I'm going to use the cardinal one, I might want to use the actual cardinal. But let's measure this cardinal and see how big it is. In fact, I'll have to get in my next kit if I want to. This cardinal, just to let you know, is actually about 3 3/4 inches tall if you take it from tail to the top here. Because this is actually, right, it's already die cut for you. So that's a lot, right? Because this notepad is not that tall. Now, I am going to put it on an easel, but the problem is if you're going to lift it up, right, and write on your Post-it note, it's going to be hard to do with a cardinal. You'd have to do the cardinal where it came way down here. So I'm not going to use the cardinal because I got more options with the other little birds. I'm not sure if they're considered sparrows or what, but the other little birds is the easy way to put it. All right, so I can easily put this here, right? I can even cut it. So I am going to cut it because this isn't going to quite work for me like this. Let's see how this one looks. I definitely like the two birds, right? But you can see it's just a little much for this right here. So it's a matter of deciding which are you going to trim off. I think I'm going to trim off this one here because it's actually crossing over. Yes, I don't always make everything in advance because sometimes I change my mind. In fact, today I don't even think I was ready just not to even create anything and just share with you. Right? Because I already told my husband today I was just going to chill. I've been like working like crazy, getting ready for the surgery to help out. All right, so these two birds really look great, and this looks great in the background. All right, and I really like the red coming. So it's all right if it comes off to the side here. It's coming up, right? Because it's got to be able to flip open. So I'm just going to put this bird right here. I'm going to put it up on dimensionals, and then we'll add the other one. So sometimes when we think things through and we think it's going to work, we sometimes forget the little details, like we have to really flip this up to be able to write on it. And I don't want to mess up the artwork, right? It's not going to do the side, but the top right here. So we'll just do it like this. It's just tips and things you need to keep in mind, right? Now, if you don't like this, it's just very easy, as I'm talking to you. I can easily come back right here. Now, granted, I have to do it before I get it all locked down, but I've never let that bother me before either. I've actually taken things apart. You can ask my friend Valerie, who we've done a lot of scrapbooking together through the years. She ran out vacation pictures, but I still have plenty of grandkids and all. I could scrapbook. And then we're just going to put this one up as well, too. She can tell you that I've created cards. It doesn't matter if it's cards or scrapbooking or what. If I change my mind or it just didn't come out the way I wanted it to, I just take it apart and recreate it. I did that with my grandson, who loved McDonald's when he was a little boy, and that's how we connected and met each other. When he was a wee little lass, and I could not understand a word he said. And his mom had surgery, so I was staying with him and taking care of him while she was recuperating. So that's how we connected. So this is how I've done this right here, and we can add. We can still add anything else you want to add to it, but let's at least get it started this much, right? So we got our birds on here. It'll match. I'm looking for my little box. Okay, see how it'll match our little box right here? Okay, so I could still add some. This is actually the ribbon that came in the kit, already cut and everything. I added that for an extra touch, and I could still do this here if I wanted to. I reserve the right to do that, but let's go ahead and get the base. All right, so we already showed you that this was a 4x4, and this is going to go right here, but we got to add some color and stuff to the background. So this was sort of a tough choice because I couldn't decide. I know I don't really like dark on dark usually. So here was an option here. And then here was my other option I was looking at. Right there. I'm going to stick with this one. I like this one. Okay, right? It's all about choices. And it varies from day to day, right? So this is going to be a 4x4. Because that was what the other was. And we'll come here and make sure this is a 4 here. And I'll use the punch here so you can see. Like I said, It's on clearance. I forget what the cost was, but it's on clearance. So when it's gone, right? That's all I got to do. And, if you have a circle punch, you could do a circle punch. If you don't even have that, you can sit there and take a quarter or something round and just, right? Draw the curve on the back and just cut it. That was the day before we had punches and everything else. It's just how we did things, right? If you wanted it, that's how you had to do it. So we're going to glue this on here. Actually, so this has got lines. So let's see which way we want those lines to go. It can go that way, or it can go that way. Doesn't matter, right? The bottom line is right now as I glue it down, it doesn't matter. It just matters when I go to glue the Post-it note holder down. And we're just going to put this on here. Now, because this is actually the card base and the kit, right? So this is actually nice and heavy. So it's not like it's thin or anything like that. It's just nice and heavy. But anyway, that's how we're going to go right here. And then we're just going to take and put the Post-it note right in the center. Now see here, I told you how this was going to be covered. We're doing that right now. So if you have any special peeps in your life, let me know. I tell you, I went shopping in Boerne, Texas last week with my son and my granddaughter. And we had tons of fun. And I thought of Sharon Bacchus. I thought of her. When we were there, because we passed through Fair Oaks. And then I thought of my other friend, Allan, who's up in Minnesota because she has family in Boerne. There you go. So this is actually the base and how it's going to look like. All right. So you can leave it like this and you say call it a day and that's all you want to do and that's fine. And we're going to make an easel though. So let me show you. So I did this a while back and I was trying to remember what I did here. Right. I know I have a tutorial out there and it's like, well, okay, I didn't want to go dig up the tutorial, so I just dig out my ruler. So this is actually 2 3/4. All right, so let me write the easel down for you. Okay. Yeah, I just did that. So the easel stand. So whether you create it or somebody else creates it, you can easily go and figure it out. For me anyway. So I just measured it and it's 2 3/4. All right, so we know the width is 2 3/4. All right, and then I think this was 2 3/4 too. No, this is 3 inches. So this is 3 inches. So I have 3 inches on this side and I have 3 inches. You see the easel here, right? I got 3 inches here. I've got 3 inches here with an inch in between. So the main thing for me is to get the math down, right? Of what the length is. So it is, and I forget when I talk, 3 inches twice. So we got 3 inches plus 3 inches. This is the front, back, and then you see the easel part is 1 inch each also. So we need, or you want to call it a mountain, they call it a mountain, whatever. So we need 1 inch and 1 inch for the mountain part. And then, so you see this little piece right here? It's just a little piece, but it covers the work, right? If you're into sewing, floral arrangement, anything, right? We cover our work. So here you can see is right the piece that's going to cause it to finish all together. And it's going to be hidden because it's glued. All right, so again, we can measure that to see what it is. And it's a 1/2 inch. Let me check, make sure I did this right. This is actually more like a 3/4 of an inch. You could do it either or, right? We could do it either or, right? All it matters is that you do it the same, right? So let me measure this one again. My daughter should be proud of me because I'm measuring twice. Okay, 1/2 inch. So we're going to half inch fold over. All right. So from there, I'm looking to see what I have handy for you because, was it 3? That's 6, 7, 8.5. So it's 8.5 inches. So let me take what I have here. Oh, this will go good. So I had this for us to make a card. So I'm going to use it because this is 8.5 inches. All right, just so that you know. You want to double check? There we go, 8.5 inches. All right, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to get my width at 2 3/4. I was confident I had some of this from last week. 2 3/4. Yeah, I'm going to just put my scraps aside because we'll end up making something with it. All right, so I'm going to sit there and I'm going to score. We know we need the 1/2 inch flap, so I'm going to start there first. If I mess this up, I get to do it all over again. The main thing is get the cutting blade out of the way, because I couldn't tell you how many times I've actually done that. So I've got my 1/2 inch, that's going to be a flap, right? And then I got 3 inches I'm going to come down. So it's just math. Now we're up to 3 1/2 inches for the next score line. So I'll even write that down for you. We're going to score it at 1/2 inch, 3 1/2 inches. Let me get your 3 1/2 inches. Make sure I do that straight. Okay, 3 1/2 inches. So you see how it's shaping up, right? Oops. See if I can see it. All right, so there, and here's the flap that's going to fold over, right? So now I'm going to be doing my mountain. So I've got 3 1/2. I got 3 1/2, which I just scored. So we know we're going to do an inch and an inch. So 3 1/2 and an inch would be 4 1/2, right? And then we're going to add another inch. It'll get us to 5 1/2. This is our scoring line. All right, so I did 3 1/2. We can come to 4 1/2. All right, so we're forming a mountain, all right? So it's going to fold like this, or even an M if you want to say it like that. People call it a mountain. All right, so you see as you go along that, see where your progress is. So if you're ever in doubt, just take the time and fold it and see, all right? I always tell people that. Let's always get people to do the score lines first, right? So they can see what they've got going on. And then it's going to go like this. So when we get through, this is what it's going to look like, right? Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've already folded these, and I'm using my bone folder here just to score the lines a little bit better. Just get it to really get, because this is going to be a stand, right? So when we talk about a stand and I go and glue this down, it doesn't matter. You could do tearing tape also, that'll work. You will see that it'll stand. It doesn't matter if I've got anything on it or not, it'll still stand, right? Because we're creating an easel stand. Yeah, I'm going a little bit longer today, but this is a project just to sort of give you all the little steps, because it's really not that hard. The hardest thing is making sure you're paying attention and not talking to others and messing up when you do the score lines, right? All right. So there you go. It's standing up, and it should. And see how it does right there. It forms a little mountain, and we got it there. So all that's left now is we're going to just put some glue on this back side, put this here, and this is a done deal. So usually when I'm making stuff like this, especially in this particular case, because I've got 2 crates, right? So if I know I'm going to make 2 of these to go with my crates, I would just go in and do this all at the same time. When we do retreats, right? We do this in classes. We do the same thing. We just go and prep, and we do it all at the same time. I was looking for my example. You're just going to line, you got to make sure the front, top, and bottom is, right? So I'm just going to line this up on the bottom here. So yeah, so like I said, with classes, retreat, and all, we just cut all this thing at the same time. If I'm cutting green paper to do the back of an easel, and I've got 15 people at a retreat, I just do 15 of them one sweep, right? Okay, there you go. There is your easel stand. You can put Merry Christmas on here. Thing is this is pretty big. That's the only thing I was thinking, but, you know, put it up here, because that'll be the top of the stand. If you don't want Merry Christmas and you just want it to be a gift, then just make it a gift, right? So let's go ahead. I'm going to go in and put these guys right here, because I can, right? Because if you're giving it as a gift, you know, this may be too tall, as I'm saying that. I always think dimensionals, because I like dimensionals. I'm looking at that. So to do this, then you're going to do it on dimensionals. I think that's fine. I'm not sure if I really like it better flat. I don't know if you're out there. You could let me know. But I'm thinking and I got more of these, so I don't have to make an immediate decision. I'm almost thinking I like it flat better. I think I do. I gotta make another one anyway for the next kit, right? So you just have to look at where all you need to glue it down, right? I don't want it high. So it's okay. All right, I almost messed up myself. I have to think, just like I told you, that guess what? I got to be able to open this, right? So if I glued this down like I wanted to, I thought I was going to do it up like this, then that's a problem, right? Because if I go to flip this up, that's going to be it's almost like you have to allow that 1/4 of an inch, and if so, you could do it. But see, I can't then do it up high like I wanted to here. So that just sat there and made me change my mind. Now the next question is, it could go down here, but I didn't plan on it going there. So I'm going to have to rethink this, right? I can easily put it up here. I might just do it like that, because there really is nowhere else, because I can't flip it. I'd have to do another tag, and I didn't do enough tags. So let's go ahead then. Let's just go ahead and put it up here for the moment, because I think that's fine. Let's see what it looks like with the one with the dimensionals. You guys can get after me later for being so long today. You know what? I don't know that I really like it. I'm going to have to think on this one, because it's not really floating my boat. I was thinking I was going to put it right here, totally forgetting that I got to be able to lift up the Post-it note. Alright, so there you go. We're just going to toss that aside at the moment until I come with a solution that I like. I mean, I could have, but I don't really like that either. Alright, you can inspire me. If you think of another way for me to put my Merry Christmas on here, let me know. Otherwise, for the moment, it's just going to go here. I'm going to put some Wink of Stella on here. And maybe some bling, because it didn't go the way I wanted to. But that's okay. The world didn't end. The sun is still up. And it is a beautiful day. So, there you go. I hope you enjoy it, right? Because sharing is caring. And it's not just sharing and conversation. It's also when we make things and we gift people with things, or we might give them a card. That's sharing, and it's letting people know that you care, right? So go out there and make a difference. Create, share, and give. That's what it's all about. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I want to thank you for not only supporting us here, but also supporting us on Adventurous Stamping and on YouTube and Instagram. Have a blessed week, and look forward to seeing you next week with Teach Me Nana. Bye.